Alright, so let's review pocket builds. So before we even start reviewing builds, who am I? I am a top 30 Asia pocket player, and yeah, I am a one-trick pocket. Let's get into builds. I think the best one would be, let's start from the top down. So the candidates we have are Sunny Pocket, Cosmetical, Gami, ABL, and surprisingly, gun in the briefcase. I don't know how, but we will skip. We'll take a brief look at this, and then we'll also take a look at this, a Wick Pocket and Eido Pocket. So let's start with Sunny Pocket. We can see that the Sunny Pocket build is more focused on first completing their cooldowns and getting their 4.8k buffs, and then going directly into Spirit Burn. Now that is a good approach. I mean, that's what you would want for the most part of the game. But here's the thing. You don't have any resist in this build. I mean, if you are not careful, you can get bursted down, and that's going to be a big problem. So what this build is trying to do is that it's trying to replace Enchanter's emblem with a healing rite. It depends on how well you use that or not, because as we know, if you play Deadlock, that Enchanter's emblem has really good stats. It's right here. 50% spirit resist and spirit power and ability cooldown reductions. Everything that Pocket loves. But instead we've got Heal Bane. Now, if we look at the build order, I mean the ability point order, the typical ability point order is that you max out the Earl first and then you go on with the Barrage. But if you are going Heal Bane, it's probably better for you to go for Heal Bane. So then you can stop annoying characters that heal up like Abrams, because Abrams uses his 3 infernal resilience to heal up a lot. You might have noticed that Abrams, if you leave him for a while, he just comes back with, I don't know, a lot of HP that you don't even have an idea where he got that from. So that was Sunny Pocket. Moreover, for the 4.8k buff, people use Kinetic Dash. I don't use Kinetic Dash. What I like to use is Swift Striker. So what this does is this Swift Striker has almost the same fire rate, and yeah, you don't have to, use the stamina as much. Now, why do I think like this? Well, at the end of this video, I'm also going to be giving my reasoning of what I like to play as a pocket main. So that was Sunny Pocket's build. When we come up here on Cheat Death is definitely a good item, but it's a very niche item. It's only going to be useful if you are in a team fight and then you're like an ace for your team, so you cannot afford to die. That's when you should be there. Okay, so what we can do later on down the line in this build is we can replace Healing Rite with Warp Stone, we can replace Cultist Sacrifice with Material Shift, and then we can remove the gun buffs and we can just go full Spirit. And I like that how the damage optional categories are really lined up perfectly. That really is a good way. And I think this is a pretty good pocket build for the range and everything else. Would I recommend playing Sunny Pocket's build? Absolutely. you can just close your eyes and you can start building it. Yeah, that's about it. And now we go on to ttvcosmeticall rank 1 pocket. I think this is like the best and the most versatile build page I've ever seen for a pocket. So yeah, and it's pretty evident by the fact that I use it for every one of my every game of mine. So we start off with the 4.8k spirit buffs, and then we go on with the cultist sacrifice, and then the connected dash. In my case, I go with Swift Striker, as I mentioned. So after we are done with these two buffs, then we go on to Majestic Leap and Enchanter's Emblem. Now, there are some cases in which you might not want to buy Enchanter's Emblem, and that would be if there's a enemy Abrams or an enemy Mo or an enemy Infernus, enemy Mirage. So any characters that give you debuffs on hit, or they CC you long enough so that they can get off their combo off of you. So that's when you should buy Majestic Leap and then debuff for more. That is an excellent choice in my opinion at that point. Another green item I love is Stamina Mastery. So I prefer Stamina Mastery over Warp Stone. But if you pair this up even here, you are going to be unstoppable. In the sense that no one's gonna catch you. They're just gonna be left wondering, where the fuck did this person go? And honestly, that's the thrill of playing Pocket, that you can escape without being punished. It's gotten so bad to the point that I try to play like Pocket on other heroes and I get instantly punished for it. So yeah, this character is pretty much spoiled when it comes to not being punished. If you've got a little bit decent movement and you built your items right, by looking at the team composition, you should be fine most of the time, and you should even return back alive and pushing walkers. Now we come down to Cosmeticall's build. Now Cosmeticall's build, if you might have noticed, is pretty much the same as Sunny's build, but except that there's Healbane in the main build list, and then there's Healbane in the suggestions. So whichever you want to feel strongly with, I would say if you want to use a build page, a very comprehensive build page where everything is in one place, you cannot go wrong with Cosmeticall's build. Now we come to Gami's build. Okay, so Gami has a little bit of a weird playstyle, but it's really fun. I would say if you're looking for something new and fresh, hybrid tempo. So this already suggests that it's a hybrid between a gun and spirit. So let's see what it actually suggests us. We start off with monster rounds. That also gives us +1 out of combat region. That is really good for Pocket, because Pocket for some reason has one combat region, and that's really bad. I mean, if you get hit or get poked in lane, it's really hard to regen from that. It's gonna take a pretty minute for you to recover from that trait. Then we've got extra stamina, always appreciated. And then we go on with Cold Front. Now, depending if you're trying to push the wave or if the lane comp is the kind of comp that would frequently get hit by Cold Front without you getting punished, like you can just burst them down and you can get away, and then you can just come back here and then you can finish the job with like this stuff like this. So yeah, I think that's the perfect way to use Cold Front. But I personally think that you should buy spirit items earlier than this. Now another change that I've seen in Gami's build is that it already counters the M1 carries kind of stuff. So like there's a Haze or Infernus or maybe another gun character like Drifter, let's say. You've got suppressor for them, or maybe like especially McGinnis, you've got suppressor for them, and that is the best thing you can get. If you're not seeing the value of extra spirit and mystic first, or improved spirit along with these two items, cold front and mystic vulnerability, go for suppressor because it gives you spirit power and it also gives you 50 bonus health. So yeah, that's at 6.4k you have your spirit buffs done, and you also have 2 combat regen. You also got 4 stamina bars, and I think this 4 stamina bars on Pocket is really good because Pocket is a kind of a character that likes to burn through stamina if you're not careful. So I'll be pretty much very careful with that.
Good work.
And then we've got Cultist Sacrifice. Cultist Sacrifice is a good item. This would be around the 8-minute mark. You should be buying this, and then you go on with the extra health part.
Smart thinking. It's Krampus season.
I mean the temps, I mean the annotations speak for themselves, but the reason I would go with Alchemical Fire early in lane or early in this game is of one sole reason. You can take walkers solo. Let me demonstrate, okay?
Lost balance.
Okay, now when it comes to taking down walkers, I think the best way to take down walkers would be with Alchemical Fire. So what Alchemical Fire does is it also gives you additional DPS, and that's really important. So let's say you dive down on a walker. Right now the walker is pretty resistant, so there's that. But in normal circumstances, this wouldn't be the case. Okay, so one use of Alchemical Fire would be taking down tier 3 camps with real ease, so that would be something like this. But yeah, by the way, I'm using Spell Slinger, so yeah. Another reason I would buy Alchemical Fire is if I don't want to buy Mystic Shot or Panicked Dash or Swift Striker. So I can just fill up my remaining active slot with Alchemical Fire. So Alchemical Fire is pretty tricky to use for Pocket, is because Pocket is a kind of agent. When you get in, you get out, and that's about it. You don't try to zone or lock down one place and make it your own and make it your own ground. So yeah, that's not the way it should go. So I would say Gami's build definitely has a lot of potential, but the playstyle that you should have for a Gami's build should be different.
Buy something for when you see your dad, I
Because this item is really funny on Pocket. Because the best part is
if
this.
you're going caroling this year,
You can just go ahead and you can just roam around the map like this. You catch someone.
Channeling spirits. I'll bleed them out.
You can just burst them down like this and they won't know what hit him.
That guy was tough.
So that's, I think, a really, really good use of Shadow Weave on Pocket. But I would say that's a little bit overkill, and you don't get to have opportunities like that in every game. And I would say you are better off buying Spirit Burn in place of Shadow Weave. But then again, that's a different playstyle. So yeah, I wouldn't say Gami's build is my favorite, but it's definitely got some potential, and it's very much comprehensive in terms of you know, the build page. It has everything you need. Even I would dare say that it's even more detailed than cosmeticals. So yeah, so that's how it is. Now we come to ABL. So ABL has focused a little bit more on, you know, building up the improved spirit. I would see that he's trying to go boundless in this build. If he's trying to go boundless in this build, that would be good. But I don't think he's trying to go boundless in this build, so there's that. And then again, we have the same lineup: Code Front, Extra Spirit, Mystic Vulnerability, Cult of Sacrifice, and a 1.6k item. Then followed with Majestic Leap and Arctic Blast. Moreover, I would say that this build takes the best parts from Gami's build and Cosmetical's build. So that's the best way to put it.
Cursed apple snow globes, if you're interested.
So the final okay, so let me just sell this.
You, my friend, are about to make their lives hell.
Spellbreaker is pretty nice. If you want to really annoy someone, that's the way to go.
Going to the Fairfax holiday party after the ritual?
This case isn't running out of ghosts anytime soon. I took out the detective.
That's how it is, you know. I would say ABL's build is not that remarkable, but here's the thing: he's definitely got the fundamentals right. So there's that. What I've noticed is that only in Gami's build does it suggest me to max out Barrage first. So that is something that I would say is very situational. The only reason you should max out your Barrage first is you're getting into a lot of engagements in the early phase, and you are, you know, and your team is responding with you, and you're just getting into an engagement after one engagement, after the other, and after the other. And I think at that point you should focus more on Barrage, maybe leave this affliction aside, and you just start building up Barrage and nuke them. I think that's how you should play it. If you have a team that's playing with you, or you are killing them all one by one. But if you are more objective focused and you are waiting for team fights to pop up, then you should definitely invest in Affliction first. You can start off with Affliction, and you know the rest of the drill. It's pretty simple.
I didn't want it to come to this.
Okay, ABL's build. I would give Sunny's Pocket a solid 8 out of 10. Cosmeticals build a 9 out of 10. Gami's build a 7 out of 10. ABL's build a 7.5 out of 10. And now we come to the outlier, which is Gun in the Briefcase. Now, this is a totally different flavor of playing Pocket, but I would like to put this as a disclaimer already, is that this build is a troll build. Don't try to use it in a game where you're trying to carry or try hard. Yes, it can mow down someone pretty easily.
Stay out of my way.
But you should also remember that Pocket is a squish character, and there's nothing stopping Pocket from getting CC. And it's even more powerful when you have your stacks on along with your blood tribute. that really hurts and packs a punch. But I don't think we're talking about that today. So yeah, I would say it's a pretty, you know, unorthodox build for Pocket. The notable combo is dash, jump, cloak, decloak, plus all items. So yeah, I would say if you want to make this build viable and work, you have to go through the painful phase of getting it all the way through to, you know, these luxury options, which is inhibitor, armor piercing rounds, and yeah, that kind of stuff. So when you're at this point, then you're definitely gonna mow down anyone, and there's gonna be no one that's gonna stand in your way. So yeah, I mean, if you're gonna get to this point, then I would say I'll be more concerned if your game hasn't ended. So there's that. But yeah, I would say it's a 4 out of 10. I don't like it. Now we are going to review the Wick Pocket. Now the premise of Wick Pocket is Wick Pocket used to be a build in which was mobility focused, and it was focused on blowing up weak targets. But now it's turned more of like the same build pattern as of Gami's build or ABL's build. You know, instead of Heal Bane or Enchantress Emblem, he goes on with the Guardian Ward. And I would say if you're not bothered by applying a active item on you, then the Guardian Ward is a pretty good pick. And it can also go into Divine Barrier. So if it goes on to Divine Barrier, so that's also a pretty good pick. Divine Barrier can save someone and save someone's assets, and it can really make a difference, I'd say, if in saving a teammate. So that's also a bit of a support factor, and you can also build up to like Divine Barrier. I would definitely recommend trying Divine Barrier on Pocket as a support. That's really good. Last but not least, we have Eido Pocket. The person who got me into playing Pocket was Eido, I would say. So yeah, time for the OG himself to critique his build. This is gonna be fun. Alright, so we open up with the Healing Right. Healing Right is very good on Pocket. I think this is the best regen item on Pocket. The second best regen item on Pocket would be Restorative Shot, and I think anything else than that would be pretty much foolish, unless you know what you're doing. Then we go on to building the 4.8k buffs. I like the way he builds this. This is a solid burst damage. I mean, of course, my boons are not the way it should be. Let's just tone it down a little. Even after resetting the abilities, you still deal around like 600 damage without the barrage amplification or their damage. So that's pretty solid on 4.8k buffs.
Nothing like New York during the
And then
holidays,
we
am I right?
come up to Majestic Leap and extra stamina. I think so. This is where Eido's build is pretty different from other builds, is that it already directly gives you an option to skip gun entirely and go with Spirit, and it encourages you to invest into Tank Buster early and Warp Stone, and Warp Stone is like one of those items that can
It's
really
Krampus
save
season.
your skin. I think I don't need to say anything more than that. And then we've got
It's one way to show your good cheer.
our spirit items being a little bit maxed out, and we've got transcendent cooldown, arctic blast, stamina mastery, and all the kind of good stuff. So
Find something
I would
for
say
placing that, I see.
if in terms of staying alive, evasion, and all that kind of good stuff, Eido's build is probably the best one. If you're a movement god and you just wanna live and harass people, I mean, yeah, go with Eido's build. You'll never get wrong with it. So now we are going to review as a bonus one of my builds. I used to build an item like this. You can search it at SK and it will pop up. This is the build SKX Cosmetical. Okay, now we as a bonus are going to review one of my builds that I created by, you know, essentially modifying a few parts of Cosmetical's build and making it my own. So as usual, we start off with Cold Front. That gives us 6% spirit resist, and then we also, you know, get the 8% spirit resist from Mystic Vulnerability, so that leaves it like leaves us at like -1% spirit armor. Then we look forward and get ourselves Majestic Leap, and then we get ourselves Mystic Shot. So Mystic Shot is really good when you are at the 4.8k threshold, because you can proc your Mystic Burst from your Mystic Shot, and that's a really good thing, you know. That's some solid spoke in lane. Even if the lane's over, that's really solid lane. If you're the kind of person who doesn't use Barrage to amp up stacks before going in for the kill, I would say this is like the pretty brain dead combination. And what if you don't like Cultist either? I mean, I didn't used to like Cultist, so I used to invest in Express Shot. So you remember that I used to do like 120 to 130 damage on my one shot, right? So now watch how much damage is it gonna do. 289 plus 137. I would not sleep on that. And the best part is that their both cooldowns are literally the same. So you can literally gun someone down with Express Shot and
Fairfax Industries, and it will be mine.
with Express Shot and Mystic Shot. This is like the, you know, it even makes your gun into a burst monster. So imagine this. That's how it is, you know. That's a lethal combination, and there's not many people who are surviving that. I mean, you pair this up with your usual pocket combos, and yeah, it's a really dangerous combination. I would say if you don't understand the utility of Cultist Sacrifice, then go with Express Shot. But remember that Express Shot is also a little bit skill based, because you might not be able to use it every single time, but yeah. But there's one more bonus point with Express Shot, is that people might start calling you Glock It because of how much damage you're gonna deal to them in one burst. They're gonna say that you're Glock It or something, but you're not Glock It. You just wanted to max out your 4.8k buffs, and that's what you did.
I don't visit my family for the
And
holidays
then
without wearing one of those.
at this point, what you can do is you can either focus on getting superior cooldown, and then you invest
Got
in
anything else on the wish
your
list?
ult and then your Arctic Blast. But at this point, I much rather focus on Tank Buster, Great Expansion, and Transcendent cooldown. So instead of 8 seconds, the cooldown on Mystic Shot and Express Shot is 6 seconds. That's really something I like and
Who
enjoy.
doesn't love a little holiday magic?
And when you are going to be building situationally, that also helps a lot, you know, if you're building unstoppable, because I like to build unstoppable and curse.
So, you
On
going to
Pocket.
Fairfax holiday party after the ritual?
When I want to dive, I can just dive like this, and then I can just get out like this. So that's what I like to do. But there's one more thing. Spirit burn is something that you should not sleep on.
It's always nice to visit family.
When you have unstoppable, you can sell the enchanter's emblem, and you can go on with the spirit burn instead. With curse, I would say curse is mainly for shutting a player down. I think as a pocket, this is your responsibility and job to make sure that happens. That you always go after like the strongest person in their group. So by the time your team comes up to clean up the mess, they already are half HP. Because imagine this. Let's say there's a warden that is fed like twice your haze, and there's no chance your haze will be able to kill that warden. So what do? And this is, by the way, we are talking in the early 10 to 15 minutes of the game, but this applies in any point of the match. You come in there, you just apply a burst, even apply affliction, and then you get. And then you wait for their teammates to show up and your teammates to show up, and then you re-engage with all of them. So that's the key of playing Disorder. So that's the way I change my build order. And if you haven't got any slots, you can just skip on these two altogether, and you can also skip on this and go directly to Spirit Burn. Okay, so there's one fun fact is that when you apply a proc Spirit Burn, okay, I would like to make sure this person is alive. No, he's not alive. Okay, I'm gonna try to apply Spirit Burn on this person without killing him. Okay, you see the stacks that are building up. So you saw the 5 stacks we got on escalating exposure on each tick of Spirit Burn. Well, that doesn't happen with deflection. You see that? If you hit, then if you do spirit damage separate of the odds spirit damage, then only and only then it is going to increase and apply those procs of escalating exposure. You can see that like 4 stacks. So that's about it. And let's say if you don't like having empty active slots, you can go with items like focus lens, or one of my favorites is slowing X, but that's really situational. If you want to make Mina unhappy, so go ahead and knock yourself out, but know that slowing X does build into Vortex Web. So if you're into that kind of stuff, I mean, the best utility for Vortex Web would be if you're diving to ult and you see a couple of players over there, and just drop that, and you just drop Vortex Web before ulting. So that's how it would be. I mean, that would be the application, and you know, considering you have the you know, the greater expansion, then the radius of this thing actually goes up to like 17.5 meters, and that's scary, like very scary, dude, like absolutely fucking insane. Just to show you, 17 meters is this was 20 meters. So that you see that opening, that edge, that's how much this Vortex Web is gonna be like. So yeah, even we can try it like this. You see, if I throw the Vortex Web grenade here, that Abrams is going to be pulled in, and that's very nasty. So if you're impatient enough to use Vortex Web, then be my guest. That's like one of the best items. But there's definitely better items than Vortex Web. People like to use Alchemical Fire. I mean, I would say Vortex Web is still better than Alchemical Fire in terms of restraining people and making sure they don't run away when you're chasing them and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, if you ever wondered why we don't build lifesteal on Pocket, that's because Pocket is the best hero. I mean, even if you do build lifesteal on Pocket, the lifesteal you get from bursting an enemy is rather pretty unimpressive unless you have Infuser. So there you have it. Now I'm going to engineer a all-rounder Pocket build for January 2, 2025. That would be the build that you should go with, and it would be something like this. I would start with Full Front. I would go with Mystic Burst, Access Spirit, Mystic Vulnerability. Then I go with Majestic Leap, and then I go with Enchanted Emblem. If you are getting hurt with you know, the spirit, if you get taking a lot of spirit damage, you can go with Spirit Lifesteal. But before Spirit Lifesteal, you should see if there's any tanks on the enemy team. If there are any tanks that use healing, like Abrams, Geist, Infernus, or any other hero that really does benefit a lot from healing, then go with Heal Vein. And then you just start with Mystic Shot and Express Shot. But you can adjust the priority, like you can maybe buy Mystic Shot first, and then the Heal Vein or Enchanted Emblem. And in some cases where you're getting a lot of CC'd and then there's abilities that you are really annoyed of, such as Sling X getting applied to you, you can just go on for Debuff for more as fast as you can. I would say after Majestic Leap, go for Debuff for more and make them pay. So yeah, that's about it.
The war is over. You've lost.
One more bonus point is that it's not a bad thing to skip out on cooldowns entirely. If you feel like you should rush Spirit Burn, then go ahead with it. If you feel like you should get Tank Buster, then definitely do get Tank Buster. I think Tank Buster is a really underappreciated item, so that's something you should get. Till then, this has been SK. Yeah, if you have anything to say, let me know. If you don't have anything to say, also let me know. Or maybe don't. I mean, that's how things goes, right? So yeah, these are my first couple of videos on Deadlock, and this is maybe one of my first videos with a mic. And hopefully I'll be making better videos with better guides and better clips, so you can learn how to become a better Pocket player. And yeah, that's about it. Chill out.